Honda introduced the Pilot in 2003. I bet it's older than some of you watching this video. This is the 4th generation. Let's take a look at it. The Pilot gets a ground-up rework. You'll still be able to get the Pilot in the LX base model, Sport, EXL, Touring, and Elite, but you'll also get the Trail Sport. All but the Trail Sport and the Elite are available as either 2- or 4-wheel drive. Those come standard as all-wheel drive only. The exterior's gotten a complete overhaul. The 3rd generation was a little bit generic, but I like how designers have made this look like a little more of a rugged SUV or a truck. It's 3.4 inches longer with a 2.8-inch longer wheelbase. The grille is more upright and squared off, and the front overhangs were shortened. I like the profile a lot. That rear window adds some style and I'm betting helps with visibility. But ultimately, you're buying it, so you decide and let me know in the comments what you think. This midsize 3-row SUV gets a new 3.5-liter V6 engine. No hybrid option yet. I'm disappointed. I thought we might see one, but we anticipate that's maybe something for the future. Let's get on that, Honda. Despite there not being a variety of powertrains, this is the most powerful Honda Pilot yet. It not being a super delicate flower, this is a big sucker. I do feel that there is pretty decent acceleration. You will actually also appreciate that in the Trail Sport if you are taking this off-road. The Trail Sport is the big news for Honda here. This trim level is all new to the lineup and gets upgrades like off-road wheels and all-terrain tires. It also gets steel skid plates to protect the gas tank and engine and transmission. You also get a full-size spare tire under the rear, recovery points in the front and the back just in case you get stuck, and an extra inch of ground clearance to avoid using those recovery points. Structurally, the Pilot rides on Honda's light truck chassis and gets up to 60% more front lateral rigidity and 30% more rear damper torsion. The suspension is tuned for a better off-road experience on that Trail Sport, and on even a moderately rated trail, you get a pretty smooth ride. But that adjustment does make for a little bit more body roll when you're driving on the road. I was really curious to see how the Trail Sport drives on the road, or rather not see, but hear. I am getting some road noise from those all-terrain tires and am feeling a little bit more vibration. It's kind of what I expected. If you do want to see more of the Trail Sport driving off-road, then check out the previous video that I did when the Pilot was still under development. The Pilot does offer a comfortable ride. It's not too sedate, but everything that you would expect from the segment. Here are some thoughts on the transmission, the brakes, and the steering. The transmission, the 10-speed, really quick shifts, nice and smooth, almost imperceptible. My only issue is it doesn't really downshift quite quickly enough if you want to accelerate, say to pass someone. I'd rather take that into my own hands, downshift, then I get my speed. Braking. The brakes on this Pilot are bigger than the last one. I love the engagement point. They feel really solid. Excellent. Steering. There's quite a bit of a dead spot right on center, and for me, it just feels a little bit too light. Even in sport mode, which is where you're going to have your heaviest setting, it feels a little bit too electronically assisted for my taste. So around these turns, whoosh, I'm really feeling how light that steering is, and I'm wishing it was a little heavier. Around turns, it definitely shifts its weight. Honda has widened the tires and the track in an effort to make things more stable, but roll is unquestionably still present. How is it inside the cabin? It's not whisper quiet, but it's not super distracting either. As far as visibility goes, the uprightness of the Honda Pilot makes visibility pretty good, especially that little extra window back there. That helps. There are also 3 new modes: Tow, Trail, and Sport, and you can feel an instant difference in the throttle mapping with each one. Not much, it's subtle, but it's there. Camera resolution on the new Trail Watch system is excellent, and it's easy to use with the push of a button on the end of a stalk. You can actually see where you're going, but it should never take the place of a spotter if you're in tougher stuff. The Pilot's interior is notably larger, but when it comes to what the driver looks at, this is another place I'm going to give the Pilot a demerit. I'm not wowed with the dash and center stack design. It's sedate, maybe even to the point of being bland. There's not much going on by way of textures or materials of interest like on the Civic and Accord. No, this is not a Mercedes and I don't expect it to be, but it's still a lot of money and I think Honda could have done a little bit more here in the looks department. The Pilot comes standard with a 7-inch touchscreen, but if you upgrade to the EXL trim, you will get a 9-inch screen. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto come standard, wireless with that bigger screen, and if you upgrade to the Elite, you get a 10.2-inch digital gauge cluster that is highly customizable. That's terrific. Honda's updated their HMI system, so it's a lot less layered, it's pretty easy to use, and it's really quick. Also available on the EXL trim are wireless phone connectivity and wireless charging. You can configure the Pilot in both 7 and 8 seat setups. This removable seat in the second row is a scene stealer, and when you're on the go, you can conveniently stash it in the back. Over the years, Honda has really excelled at great space-saving systems, and this is definitely one of them. The second row gets over 2 more inches of space. The third row is also not some throwaway afterthought. Access back here is easy thanks to the push-button seat movers, and there is a recline that rivals some economy airline seats. But kids may not notice, but if you're flinging an adult back here, they will, and they'll thank you for it. In my initial Trail Sport video, I tried to predict what the cost would be and I kind of got it wrong. Starting price on the LX is about $36,000. If you go up to the Sport, you're looking at closer to 40 grand. You get some nice features for that price, including a leather-wrapped steering wheel, push-button start, and a bunch of charge ports, both A and C. LED lights are standard across all trims, and the cup holders are larger to accommodate even a Nalgene bottle. But one more negative, if you're putting a smaller bottle in here, it will slosh around. I'm really not a fan of that. On the EXL, Trail Sport, and Touring, you get more amenities the more you pay, like tri-zone climate control, a heated steering wheel, heated front power adjusted seats, and that rad removable second row middle seat starting on the Trail Sport. On the Elite trim, you get everything plus other goodies like a head-up display and ventilated seats. Gas mileage numbers land about where I would expect. 19 for the city, between 23 and 27 on the highway, and that is dependent on whether or not you are in two-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. The Trail Sport does get that 23 number, which again, I expect. Honda normally does a pretty decent job when it comes to gas mileage numbers, and that's one of the reasons why they hold their value as much as they do. Speaking of, if you have a Honda that you are looking to trade in, click the link right over here and see what kind of a price you can get for it. There are so many options for 3-row SUVs these days, including the Kia Telluride, Hyundai Palisade, Toyota Highlander, and Nissan Pathfinder. And some of these are even coming to market with specific off-road trims a la the Trail Sport, including the Pathfinder Rock Creek and the Subaru Outback Wilderness. Yes, you've got your work cut out for you here, but subscribe to the KBB YouTube channel and we'll help you figure it out. Safety is always number one, and Honda really makes sure that you are covered, making their Honda Sensing suite of safety features standard across all trims. It's not chintzy either and includes adaptive cruise control, lane keeping warnings and assist, which is a very smooth system now, traffic sign recognition, and other pretty advanced features. The Pilot also scores top safety ratings across the board. The Honda Pilot is a perennial family favorite, now with cool new tech and the ability to do things that it may not have been able to do before. The Honda Pilot is still one to keep on your list.